Welcome, it's Jessica LaMarre with Love Personal Growth, your go-to for embodied healing and spirituality in life, business, and relationships. And today we're going to talk about the healer, and specifically the hidden healer from my archetype quiz, which you can take on www.lovepersonalgrowth.com. It's completely free. This healing archetype quiz, it's called the healing archetype quiz because each one of the archetypes that you come into are all a part of the healing process. In fact, life is the healing process. We have come down here to learn and to unlearn and to grow and to expand. And that is all a part of healing. So for me, when I was really struggling in terms of being in a corporate role, not knowing where I wanted to go, but knowing that where I was not where I wanted to be, I was looking for a way out, and I was unconsciously praying for a miracle, not truly understanding the power of what it means to greatly desire something. And so that miracle did come, but it came in a very difficult way because I wasn't listening to the whispers of my intuition. I wasn't listening to the emotions of my body. I wasn't listening to my body. And so Spirit had to get my attention. My higher self had to get my attention and say, hey, wake up. This is not the path. You have a different path. And so I said, all right, let's do this. Let's go on this other path. And I was committed. As you get to know me, you will get to know that I am a very committed person, a loyal person. I'm a Taurus, so I'm very loyal. And so I show up. I show up to do the work. I show up to do the healing. And that's what I did. And I want to acknowledge up front this term about the healer. The healer is someone who is doing the healing work, that is empowering others to remember the healing that exists within them innately, providing the space to bring forth the healing that the body already knows how to do. Okay, so we already inherently know how to heal, and what I mean by that is our bodies already know how to do the healing work. We've just been talked out of it. So a lot of the key here in doing healing is unlearning. And I'll talk more about that on a completely different episode, a different show. But today, let's focus in, let's dig into the hidden healer. So on my journey, I didn't even know what healing was. Seriously, I thought that healing, at the beginning of my journey, I thought that healing was something that you did after you got hurt, like you got a scrape or a bruise or surgery or recovered from having a child. You're healing. I never knew that there was this whole realm of healing for emotions. And I'm going to keep it simple and call it emotions. There's inner child work, there's shadow work, there's past life work, but we're just going to keep it simple and we're just going to call it emotions today. So as I'm delving into this new realm of healing, again, I had no idea. So I'm in one of my classes because, as you know, I love the healing, I love the spiritual work, and I also love it to be founded in knowledge. And so as I'm in school, I am in a class and we're sitting there and this woman, she's up at the whiteboard and she's talking about her experience of how she got in a car accident and how she did the physical healing, but her body kept having this horrible back pain. And so she did energy healing. She healed her emotions to completely heal the back pain. I was taken back. I thought, wait a second. You can heal your emotions? And then along the journey, I had the thought, oh my gosh, what would we all look like if you could see our emotional wounds? What would we see if we could see the emotional wounds that everybody carried? You feel that in your sacral, right? That is like so deep. And the generational wounds that we carry. And so allowing ourselves, so once I came into this knowing that it's possible to heal, and to heal not just what I've endured and what I've encountered, but generational trauma, so that I don't pass it on to my kids. Yes, count me in. I was a yes for healing. And so that's when I started doing my healing work, and I went deep. Okay, remember I said I was committed and I'm loyal? That happened. I was in healing sessions 90 minutes every week doing cranial sacral and Reiki and EMDR and IFS and all of these different, and past life and all of these different healing modalities, energy healing. I've done so many, I can't even keep them all, say them all here. But I was desiring for something to be healed within me because I thought it would. This is at the beginning of my journey, and no matter where you are on your journey, I just want to make sure you hear this message. I continue to heal so much because I thought that I would get to a point in which things would be healed and all would be well. Okay? I'm saying this now to save you from trying to heal everything on an accelerated basis. If that's what you're doing and that feels good, do it. And also, what I want you to know is that the journey never ends. And I came to that conclusion in June of 2022 at Delphi University when I was taking a course. Sitting there in the forest in the Appalachian Mountains in Georgia, realizing, oh my gosh, this never ends. So, do your healing work, but give yourself grace. Do your healing work, but have compassion for your timeline. Okay? Because the hidden healer, she is doing her work. We all know this. The hidden healer is doing her work, and she has stepped out. She wants to step out in the world even further to be more authentic, but she's doing what it takes to step out into the world. She is owning her gifts day by day, night by night. So the hidden healer has come here for a great purpose, and she knows this. She is committed to the lifelong spiritual journey and has a daily practice, and she's really dedicated to this call and committed to that next step on her divine life's purpose. Now, what I am saying is that there are still times, okay, I want to make sure that it's clear here. There are still times that she is going to question, is this what I'm called to do? She is going to question, is this the right path? She is going to question, should I go back to the old job? She is going to question what she is doing when she is out of alignment. And I'm not saying that being out of alignment is bad. I'm just saying that's when it happens. It's we question, is this right? Is this the right path? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Is this the best use of my talents? But when we can heal those thoughts and remember that this is our journey, but not our journey. We are here to bring forth what's of the greatest and highest good for all involved. We are here to heal, not just for ourselves, not just for our ancestors, not just for our children, but for the world. And yes, this sounds like a lot of responsibility because it is. It is a lot of responsibility. If you're on your healing journey, you know it's a lot of responsibility. And I want to give you permission to pivot at any point in your journey. Now is the time to trust. Whatever it is that you want to do, what your heart is calling you to do, trust that. Go for it. Believe in yourself. Okay? Because we can have some deep-seated, sometimes unconscious fears of stepping out into a more aligned role. And these are not logical fears. These are typically irrational fears carried over many lifetimes. But it is time to heal those and to let go and to trust. So let's talk more specifically about the hidden healer, as I've spent about 10 minutes talking about healing. So the hidden healer, when out of alignment, she feels responsible for other people's emotions and experiences. And I say she because I'm just referring to it as a female, and my clients are females. So she's not valuing her healing services or other offerings that she has, and even sometimes hides her healing abilities. She doesn't put it all the way out there. A perfect example, I was sharing what I was doing on Instagram, but not on LinkedIn because that's where my corporate friends were, and I didn't want them to see what I was doing in the corporate realm. Well, it was okay on Instagram. She can struggle to trust herself as she was taught not to trust herself and her abilities and her capabilities. This is key because it's not that she doesn't trust herself because she's not able or capable. It is that she does not trust herself because she has been taught to. That's where the unlearning comes in, and the unlearning is huge. Another big setback, if you will, for a healer, for the hidden healer, that'll keep her in the shadows or in the darkness or not sharing her gifts is comparison. And I will tell you, don't look up and compare. Look up and shine. Look up and share your light. Look up and own your blank, okay? Own it. You know your power. You know who you are. At the core of you, you know who you are. You've touched her inside of you. You have been there. You know how powerful she is, how strong she is, how loving she is, how incredible she is, how amazing she is. Let her come out. Let her play. A few other things that can keep you from really sharing your healing gifts are doubt, blame, and shame, and guilt. Whoo! Okay. Doubting your abilities is not helping anybody. No one. So take that doubt and heal it. Do healing work. I don't mean, and when I say healing, I don't mean shove it aside. I mean allow yourself to feel it. I mean, be with it, understand why she has doubts, and then let her know the path and the trajectory and what is happening so that she's on board. So you can move forward and she's not sabotaging you at a later period with procrastination or not finishing your landing page or anything like that. Blame and shame and guilt. These are huge. Okay, so what I found is a lot of the healers that I work with, they had some sort of religious background, and the work that they're doing doesn't align with their religious background. So that blame, that shame, that guilt, that is entrenched inside of you from a place in which the people teaching it are even afraid of their own power because they're taught to be. And there's nothing wrong with religion. Let me say that. If religion works for you, then let it work for you. I am not a fan of religion, and we could go into that. Actually, we'll do a topic on religion as well. We'll do a discussion on religion. But for me, it's about we were raised in environments that did not value the unseen, that did not value the human experience, that did not value emotions. We lived in a place in which we may need to be saved, or that someone was coming to save us, or that we needed to repent, or that we needed to confess, or that we were bad unless we acted a certain way, or that there was no unconditional love. It was conditional unless you behaved in a certain manner. So being able to step out with your gifts can be terrifying if they're not in alignment with the religious organization or culture or the environment and your parents in which you grew up in, or the society or your friends. So know that. And that's just healing work waiting to happen. That's all. Because she has incredible gifts. You have incredible gifts that are meant to be shared with the world. You are a healer. You are a healer, and that healer is just waiting patiently. No pressure. Seriously, I'm not saying this headed fist. I'm saying there's no pressure. She will wait as long as you need her to wait. And she also wants to get going. So whenever you're ready. Many healers feel undeserving to call themselves a healer. And there's also this thought process in the healing community that you shouldn't call yourself a healer. Okay, great. That's a thought. Again, just take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. You can be a healer because you are a healer, because you're healing yourself. And also, you have made the commitment to hold the space for others to heal in whatever modality that you're doing that in. Now, I understand that they don't want, if you will, ego, and I'm saying that in quotation marks since you can't hear me or can't see me, if you're listening on the podcast. But we must realize that the healer is within all of us. She's an archetype. you can't take her out. You can't take her out of who you are. She's a part of you. She's a part of every single one of us. It's just about owning who we are and not letting the ego get attached to this person or this role, but rather align with our intuitive gift, align with our power, align with our modality so that we could bring forth what's of the greatest good. Okay? So, here are some common characteristics and experiences of the healer. Okay, so they're typically born into a family that renders intuitive gifts, i.e. empathic feelings, imagination, creativity, being able to talk to the other side, a weakness or not valuable. And so they learn to disconnect from their intuitive gifts. They were typically raised by an empath, or there was alcoholism or depression or stern or strict or needy or narcissistic parents. They typically also endured some sort of childhood trauma. And I like Dr. Nuñez-LaMarre's version of trauma. It's the inability to be fully ourselves. And I know that means that everybody has trauma, but I do believe that everybody does have some form of not being able to be themselves fully, in which they had to become someone else and couldn't expand and express their gifts. They may have a lack of clarity or keep their minds cluttered, so they may fill their calendars with things to do or kids' activities, or activities for themselves, so that they don't have to be fully in what it is that they are being called to do. Also, they may feel overwhelmed and burned out when they are supporting from a place of being ungrounded. They may find their way to retreats and groups and coaching programs, and that may become, I don't want to say obsessive, but I do want to say they don't know how to operate without it. And they need to find themselves in a place in which they can bring forth this feeling, and they have to go to it instead of being in their own lives and letting their lives do the healing. So that can happen. So just an FYI. Now, healers are deeply passionate. They're deep feelers. They have big hearts and they're creative. They're drawn towards spiritual practices, and they have studied multiple different healing modalities. If you're on your first or on your 50th, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you will study multiple different healing modalities, and you're here to transform the world. You are here to transform the world. So when you're in alignment, you desire to be of service to spirit. You truly desire healing for the world. You feel safe in your body and you love your body. You honor the need for rest and balance. I wrote down a couple notes here that I want to make sure that we get to. You welcome surrender and are open to being guided by spirit. You share your stories of deep pain to release shame and empower other women, and you take aligned and inspired action. That's what happens when we're in alignment. And I'm going to close with these three things. Number one, we must be able to let go of our control and allow the experience to be divine. What I mean by that is just what I said a few minutes ago. Allow your life to be the healing session. That's what I want to challenge you to do. Allow your life to be the healing session. Allow your life to be the meditation. Allow your life to be the teacher. Number two, make sure you get rest. Get plenty of rest, because on this journey, if you are not rested and balanced, and if you're giving from a place in which it is not an equal energy exchange, you're going to find yourself sick or resentful or not wanting to do the work. And believe me, sister, we need you. We need you to do this work. Again, it's all about self-knowledge. It's about knowing yourself, illuminating your truth, and releasing the outcome. All right? So you could take the quiz on www.lovepersonalgrowth.com to find out your healing archetype. And I'm super excited to talk with you next time. Have a good one.